All right, into customs, and we're going to return to the backlog of build requests. I will show the comment on screen when we get to one of the longer shop phases. But for now, we've got the full mouse team start. And I think mouse is obviously one of the tier ones that was changed. Mouse and Kiwi both needed adjusted. And it's got much better starting stats, but the apple now costs 1 gold. So you're not getting absurd value with by selling loads of mice for free apples and then spamming them onto Rabbit or Jerboa even. But it's definitely much better now for keeping and leveling up. You know, having these 5-4 units. You know, previously it would have been what 3-4 instead of 5-4. And I'm just going to save them and then sell them for the apples to buy onto the pet that I want to use, which is the Toucan. And it's not mentioned in the comment here. Loose build request, a Rube Goldberg team, basically make the most complicated combination of team synergies to achieve the simplest of actions. And I like the fact that it's a loose request, so basically, you know, just an idea, but you can use whichever pets you want. And German Shepherd and Fire Ant were both suggested there. I did actually record a bunch of runs quite a while ago, actually trying to use the specific pets that were mentioned in the comment. The problem was that the synergy would never go off. So I kept ending up in a situation where if I got close to the end, it was purely based on stats. The synergy was just never working because it would constantly get broken by opposing teams. And in the end, I did get a win, but the synergy didn't go off once in the entire game. So I decided not to use that clip. And instead, recently I had an idea that I felt would fulfill the original suggestion. I will quickly pause to mention this team. I'm not a big fan of Camel, but nice to see someone using Woodpecker at the back. So yeah, I had an idea and I thought that would probably fulfill this particular request. I guess we can ask the original commenter and see what they think, you know, does this count or not. But what I wanted to do was have Toucan with Donut. And there's literally no point. I can't think of a single sensible reason why you would ever play Toucan with Donut. It's much better just to put Donut on the unit that you want to receive the stats in the first place, or receive the effect in the first place. And really, Donut is one of those things that is basically pointless anyway, unless you have, what's the thing I'm looking for? Starfish. And Starfish being nerfed to tier 4, thankfully that's finally gone through. But you do still see a lot of Starfish players. I guess they're just very, very dedicated. But yeah, even with Starfish, like there's less incentive to take Donut these days because they made a change to random buffs. So if something hits 50-50, it will automatically get passed over for random buffs, which at the time, I mean, I still think that's a really bizarre change. And it just makes Donut even more pointless, and it's already one of those things that you're rarely ever taking for any reason. So what I want to do is have Donut on the Toucan, and then there aren't really that many pets that in battle are gonna, you know, pass or have an effect or interaction with Donut. So what I want to use is Triceratops at the front. So the Triceratops gets hit a bunch of times, and therefore the buffs are all going to go directly to the Toucan. And then I want Emu at the back, which is going to kick the Toucan forwards with the Donut. And then the Toucan will pass the Donut when it faints onto the unit behind it. And then the Emu will kick a second Triceratops to the front to give buffs to the unit in second position, which has received the Donut. So maybe not surprising for a Rube Goldberg team, but it kind of sounds very messy and complicated to describe it. But hopefully once we find more of the combo pieces, it will become clear what I want to actually happen. And we end up winning here. The Stego was a sensible choice, even though it's not involved in the final build. And I think here, although I could instant level 2 the Triceratops, I actually decide to instant level 2 the mongoose, because in 2 turns time we can get a lot of buffs across the team, and hopefully we'll have found all the pets we need by then. So I take 2 level ups, but I don't get anything I want, unfortunately. And we'll move the hatching chick so it starts to buff the Triceratops at the front. And probably just take the crow. There is donut in the shop now, but generally it's much better to wait on the donut until you have everything in place, because the garlic can definitely save you in a lot of situations. We are also 1 level up away from level 3 hatching chick, so we can potentially ditch the alpaca and get extra chocolate that way. I can't remember which way around I do it, but we get crushed here by a team that had the level 2 dragonfly. Now there is a toucan in the shop there, but there's actually no benefit at all in leveling up the toucan. In fact, it actually hurts the team, because if it's level 2, then when it gets kicked to the front, it's going to give donut to the 2 pets behind it, and therefore we'll end up losing the perk on the 3rd position unit, which we really don't want to happen. So here I'm actually going to use a chocolate on the oyster to get another level up to try and find the pet that I want, and there it is, the warthog. So I think I'm going to take warthog now, am I? Yeah, I'm checking the alpaca for triggers, but you don't actually need to do that anymore, because when the triggers are all gone, the ability to, the level gets grayed out, like you can see there. And I decide to pill the blobfish and look for another warthog. We do actually find a T-Rex though, which will be useful because it can buff both the Triceratops and the warthog at the same time. And also the emu if we manage to find one. And I think here I decide to take orangutan, although it's actually going to buff the T-Rex for now. So yeah, I think, like I was saying, if you have level 2 toucan with donut, that's not really going to work too well, because I want to have mushroom on the Triceratops in the middle. Since we're likely to have to throw it in at the last minute with low stats, and I think you can see here I'm going to put mushroom on the front Triceratops as well, or maybe I'm going to wait on that. Okay, here we get the emu. So buy emu and mushroom emu as well. And I think I'll take eggplant on the warthog, since it's going to end up with donut. We might as well get a benefit from it. Maybe I should have had some of the other before start of battle stuff, like pancakes, but I don't think I had it in the pack. So you can see here the toucan would get kicked to the front. It would then give donut to the warthog, and then the second Triceratops would end up buffing the warthog, which in turn is going to buff the emu at the back. Now obviously you would be much better off just putting the donut on the warthog in the first place, because then you're just going to multiply up the amount of stats that it's going to give to the other units. But then it wouldn't be a pointless Rube Goldberg team if we did that. This person's name, Camel Leech, is lame. Yeah, 100% agree. Although Turkey Spino isn't too far behind, to be honest. But we do have the garlic, so although the stats on these units are so high for a summon team, I think we should be okay. Or maybe at least we can eke out a draw. Yeah, the fact that Turkey gives attack now as well makes these Turkey plus Spinosaurus teams so much more dangerous. But we end up getting away with it. We'll take the level on the emu. And now I really just need to find another Triceratops. There it is. And probably I should have frozen the mushroom there, but maybe I just didn't notice it. And then another summon team. I've seen a lot of them recently. I guess that makes sense. You know, some of the scaling options were nerfed, so maybe people are turning to summons as a way to farm wins. And Stork Eagle is still a very, very common combo, even though the Stork's been nerfed. I mean, you can see why. Look at that. Look at how much value they got from the Stork there. The Warthog is going to give a decent amount of stats to the Emu, but yeah, it's another Eagle, and we end up losing there. I get, was that Mushroom? Maybe it was Mushroom. So I think I do freeze this Mushroom. Okay, maybe not. I'm not sure what exactly I'm looking for. Maybe just trying to level 3 the Warthog. We actually end up rolling a lot of T-Rexes, which is kind of a bit on the late side because we're running out of time. But the eggplant does mess up this elephant plus camel team, husky plus poodle, and I think we're still going to lose, are we? I guess it depends on what the amount of stats that the warthog provides here. And actually it's more than enough, so we are going to win by result of the mushroom. So now the T-Rex has to go, and we'll put the Triceratops in the middle position. I really should just sell it now. Okay, I also needed the donut, of course. And yeah, we don't have enough. That's the reason I wasn't freezing the mushrooms, because I knew I needed to find the donut. But we do find the level 2 Triceratops if we lose or tie. It's another summon team. Is that 3 in a row? But actually here, the 1-up on the Triceratops is going to mean that we kill the 18 attack chick in one go. So the Toucan moves to the front. Look at the stats on the Orca there, that is crazy. Now the Warthog receives the donut, so it's guaranteed to get the buff from the Triceratops. The Orca produces a walrus. For anyone counting, that's like the millionth walrus that my opponents have got from Orcas. But the peanut ends up going to the tiger at the back, and so we end up winning with the mushroom. So a little bit disappointing not to have the full setup with the mushroom on the middle Triceratops, but by the time I got to that point, I just this was driving me crazy. And you can see why here. So turn 15, 9 wins. Another double husky team plus monkey. However, the Toucan's actually going to trade with the hippo, and then the warthog gets pushed to the front, and we end up winning without finding the second Triceratops. Normally when I put clips at the end, it tends to be all the fails, but actually these are the sort of the reverse fails where you actually win but you don't get what you want. And here we've got the double Triceratops with mushroom. We've got the Toucan, but it doesn't have donut, and I don't have the warthog. But I think the double mushroom with the double level 2 Triceratops is actually going to be more than enough. Triceratops is so much better now that it gives stats on feint. It just makes such a big difference. Plus 6/6, and you can see the emu gets up to almost 50-50. So there's another one that was a win, but not usable. And then here's a third one. This time we do have the donut, we do have the warthog, but we still have the level 3 orangutan in the middle because I couldn't find another Triceratops. Orangutan, definitely my scaler of choice these days. I just keep taking it in virtually every pack. And another orca team, but they get mole plus cuttlefish, and then tapir that copies the Spinosaurus, but without the turkey as well, they're just not generating enough attack there. So 3 wins all with the incomplete team. And then here's one where I actually do have the complete team. So we have the double Triceratops, and I actually get the mushroom on the middle Triceratops as well. So I would like to find some chocolate to level it up. 50-50 camel, and this team has just bought the leopard. Thankfully they're not able to completely ruin us like so many leopard teams are. But yeah, 50-50 camel, there was no way we could get past that. And we end up losing, but we're still on 1 heart. And we get the TV buffs. And the level 3 warthog as well. So I could actually, yeah, I was about to say I could lollipop the stats on the warthog here. But I think maybe I decide not to do that because it kind of, there's less point of actually funneling stats to the warthog if it already has very high attack. And then level 3 leopard, level 3 lynx, level 3 woodpecker. I mean, this is just the kind of team you're expecting to face when you're on turn 18. And we pass the donut back, although it's not going to make any difference at all, except for remove the equipment from the emu. We actually win by 1 HP, which is, I mean, I think that's pretty shocking when you actually see the two starting teams. So turn 19, 9 trophies with exactly the team that I want, apart from the middle Triceratops doesn't have any levels yet. And I'm sure you can imagine my reaction when I saw this final opponent. The less said about that, the better. But let me know in the comments below, what would you do if you were going to make a Rube Goldberg team with the kind of pointless back and forth interaction that we see in this build?